Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Judith. Today I'm going to do a variation on a braised lamb shank that I like to do. Considering the price of lamb these days, we're going with some shoulder chops. So I have 4 shoulder chops and it's 675 grams. I've got some fresh herbs, basil, flat leaf parsley, rosemary and thyme, fresh carrots out of the garden, some celery, yellow potatoes, and some cremini mushrooms. We're going to braise that in a red wine and chicken stock. I have a really nice red wine. And as I always say, use a wine you would drink. Don't use cooking wine. That's not good. It's cooking wine because it has a lot of extra salt in it. And we don't want a lot of extra salt. First off, I'm going to brown the lamb chops in some olive oil. Then we're going to get everything in a baking pan and put it in the oven. And it's going to take 2 to 2.5 hours. So let's get started. As with all meat, you want to make sure you pat it dry and then give it a little bit of seasoning with salt and pepper. And I do have some crushed salt and peppercorns that I like to use. So I think I got overboard on the salt last time, so I have to do this sparingly. Usually I have too much peppercorn in it. Okay. Now, once your pan is heated, and you want your pan fairly hot, my stove is hot, so I have it at a medium, and a fairly high medium at that. I want about a tablespoon of olive oil, and just coat the bottom of the pan, because all we're going to do is brown our chops. And you'll probably have to do this in batches. I can't get the 4th one in there, so I'm going to have to wait to do it. Give it, depending on the heat of your pan, between 1.5 to 2 minutes to brown, and then turn them over and brown the other side. Take them out and put them in with your vegetables. You don't want your lamb chops cooked all the way through. You just want to brown them a little bit on the outside. And then you're going to tuck them into the baking dish. I have 1 more lamb chop to go, and then we'll be ready to start to add the liquid. Before I started browning my lamb chops, while the pan was heating up, I did prepare the vegetables. So I have the carrots, celery, so that's the 4 stalks of celery cut into 3-inch lengths. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 small carrots, 3 cremini mushrooms chopped up, a bunch of herbs which I spread out amongst the pan so evenly so everything gets flavored. You could just bundle them and tie them with a string and put them in the middle, but it's okay because we will strain everything at the end. And then once our lamb chops are brown, we're going to lay them on top. We're going to add the wine and the chicken stock, and then cover them with foil and bake. Okay. My apologies for the previous portion of the video. I forgot to reset one of the settings that I used to make my intro. Oops. Although it gives it a lovely fuzzy quality. Anyways, now that we've got this far, we've got our lamb chops browned. So now we're going to add, and we've got our vegetables and our herbs in the pan, a cup of chicken stock. Now if you don't have your own, feel free to use a prepared chicken stock. And then I'm going to add, oops, gotta open the wine first. Give me a second. Alright, now that the wine is open, and as I said, you want to use a wine that you will drink. So we're going to pour a glass. First glass goes in with our dinner. And maybe just a touch more. Second one is for me. And yes, that first one was a big glass. So this is what we're serving with dinner. This is what we're cooking dinner in. And it's from a winery called 1884, and it is a Malbec. And of course, you always want to let your red wine breathe before you drink it. So that was a little premature. But it will be lovely. So now we're going to cover this with foil. We're going to put that in the oven and come back in about 2 hours and see how it's done. So it's gone an hour and a half. Again, times are variable depending on your oven and how many lamb chops you're doing, the size of your pan, etc. But mine seems to be done. The vegetables are soft, the meat is cooked, so we are going to start removing things from the pan onto our serving plate. Now it depends on you how you want to arrange this. You can actually even serve it straight from the pan, but I want to thicken the sauce a little bit before we go any further. Now I'm deliberately not taking the herbs out. I'm just doing the lamb chops and the vegetables. The oven is off. I'm going to cover our serving platter. So we've got all our lamb chops and vegetables there. And we're going to cover it with the same tin foil we had covering our pan. Which is a little on the short side, but that's okay. And the oven is off. We're just going to put it back into the oven to keep warm while we get our sauce ready. So this is our braising liquid, which is full of herbs, and we're going to pull those out. Look, we missed. Now, if you've tied your herbs in a bundle or managed to place them and keep them big enough so that you could remove them like that, that's great. Otherwise, you're going to want to strain this. Now we're going to turn our burner on. Not too high. We just want it to come up to a simmer. But before we do anything else, we want to taste our liquid, our braising liquid, to see how it is for seasoning. Well, it's pretty good. I don't think it needs anything. So now we want to thicken our braising liquid and use it as a sauce. So if you're avoiding gluten, use cornstarch or tapioca starch. I'm going to use flour. And it's just a thin slurry of flour and water. It's about 2 tablespoons of flour, equal amounts of water. We'll wait till this to start simmering, and then we're going to add it. And remember to whisk continuously while it cooks. When you've got some bubbles showing, now you don't want this to get to a rolling boil, you just want it at a very, very mild simmer. We're going to take our flour and water mixture, and you probably won't need it all because we're not making gravy. Just whisk it in, and now we wait for it to simmer again. At this point, you don't want to whisk constantly because you need it to come up to that simmer. And if you're whisking, it's not going to do that. So, yeah, we've got some bubbles. Yep, and I can feel resistance at the bottom. So, to make sure the flour isn't sticking to the bottom, you do have to whisk. But we do want to let it cook. And have a spoon on hand so you can taste it. So you know when the flour is cooked out. So like I said, we're making a sauce, not a gravy. And you can let it simmer very low for a bit to thicken. Because we do want it a little thicker than water. We want some body to it. And look at how beautiful and shiny that is. So just continue to whisk when it's simmering like this, and that will help you judge how thick it's getting. I've added about half of my flour and water slurry, so I don't think I need any more. Herb. I think we're done. Now, you could pour this directly over your platter of meat and vegetable, but I like to serve it on the side in a nice little jug. That way, everybody can get the amount they want. A few herbs for garnish, and there's dinner. Let's serve some up. Make sure I get some mushrooms, a carrot or two. Oh, and I definitely have to get some celery. Okay. And I do want some of the sauce. Just a little. Okay. Let me take a taste. Let me pour myself a glass of beautiful wine, which has had time to breathe now. And let's have a taste of what we just cooked. I've got a rib piece here. Oh, look, just falls right off. That is so tender, so succulent. The vegetables are cooked to perfection. And they're soft, they're not crispy. If you like crispy vegetables, this isn't going to be that. And we mix the potato into the sauce. Get some of that. Oh my. That is so, so delicious. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the recipe, please definitely try to make it yourself. It is not hard. And if you don't have fresh garden herbs or vegetables, you can get them at the supermarket. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment. It all helps with the algorithm, and I am trying to grow my channel. It's been slow going, but we're getting there. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone that watches, comments, likes, subscribes, and I'll see you again soon with another recipe.